Good morning and welcome to today's live show. First of all, Cesar, thank you so much for subscribing yesterday towards the end of the stream. I missed it and I wanted to say thank you for that. And thank you guys so much for coming in and liking these videos so that we can see more people, we can help out more retail investors in the crazy time that we're in right now. They're now early on today. I do want to read this as some people do trickle in, but for now we'll list off the daily expected moves and things like that. But I did want to talk about a potential thing that was summarized by the Goldman Sachs statement, which I think is something to actually look into, as we are also seeing them start to acquire 50 million shares from that dilution from AMC. I think that would be interesting. But daily expected moves first, we do have 606.93 to the upside, and we have 602.43 to the downside. Now, remember, this is still a relatively small range. It's a little bit bigger than yesterday, but remember what we said. It's been this month that we set it before the day even opened. We said in Sunday's video, pay attention, because when these ranges have been smaller, we've seen crazier things actually happen. We're actually seeing this land outside of the move when that's smaller. And this might be a liquidity thing, because we notice when the range is actually really big, it's like over half of the time we just see some flatness or trickling up. So very interesting, as when those are bigger, you should see some more rip around moves. When they're tighter, you really should stay and do a whole lot of nothing. So we're actually seeing a small range again today. I'm scared about today. I'm scared too, and there are some reasons you should be scared a little bit, not overly dramatically scared. We don't have the signals on the daily. We can talk about that this morning, as we do have a little bit of time before we start if you guys want to. But the main thing is get these daily expected moves on your chart. For the Qs, if you need to go back and pause it on the SPY, for the Qs though, the daily expected move 525.48 to the upside and 519.28 to the downside. Notice that it is really close to this area. Okay, really close to a weekly expected move. This could be the next bull run, right? This could be the next move to go higher. If that fails, just be cautious throughout the day, okay? Because that could set up another divergence really close to the center line. But I want you to get those up on your charts. And then we'll talk about some stuff on the daily scale. Now, remember this about the daily scale as you're getting those daily expected moves up on your charts. Hopefully you're tuning into the live video so you understand what we're talking about around these ranges and how the price action likes to behave, especially as we're running into 5-day. We can catch a bounce from there. So it's very important to note that the 5-day is right there, and we can catch a little 30-minute bounce from there. So what I just want to talk about early on today is the fact that we still do not see the exact reversal signals that you will normally see at some kind of major top. So I think you have to be aware of this thing being able to go higher potentially into January, and then early January we might see that signal at the end of December that gives us a hint for January. So we'll pay attention to it, but that's something that's really important here. This is a massively bullish run, and this is where we can talk about something for Goldman Sachs. I would just want to show it again. It's not on the daily. It's not on the daily. It is on the weekly. We can pay attention to that. The SPY, once again, you do not see it on the MACD or the RSI at the same time, right? That does come above there, which is, it's enough flatness to cause a pullback, but the most likely scenario is a pullback. Now, I said I think volatility could come in pretty good here, and we have a pretty small week. So if we see some kind of flash move out of these zones, I wouldn't be too surprised by that. This is a great move. We've seen 1, 2, 3 days wiped out in one trading session, which is something that we said last week. Last week, we were like, the way we're going up, you're going to most likely experience a day where you knock out 3 days of price action. Then you actually might end up going higher, right, if these 30 minutes can cross up. But the reason that I'm very aware that volatility can come in is because there are signals to be worried about. You have volatility, the VIX, crossing up on the daily today. If that can be positive, that would be an interesting sign. Remember, volatility yesterday was up 11.13%. That means that over the next 2 trading sessions, we have the chance for a green day, some kind of positive day for the SPY in the next 2 trading sessions. Now, does that mean that that has to be some kind of massive rip down for volatility and rip up for the SPY? No, it could just be consolidative in some way. It could go set up the lower high on the 30-minute. Okay, so that's something to pay attention to. But look at this, volatility is turning up. You have, if you really blow up the RSI, I wouldn't say it's on the MACD, but you do have it on the RSI, very flat. So this is kind of like a 1 or a 2 for the grading for what I would give this, right? 3 being the best, 1 being the most, probable to fail, I guess, this would be a 1, in between a 1 and a 2. And so what we want to say is this most likely will be a pop in volatility that ends up failing. That's what it looks like. And then I think we're going to end up down towards 12.12. But this is where we need to bring up something that was what I was just looking into this morning. I just like to look at what people are interested in talking about. And something that I did notice was this statement right here. And someone got it from Goldman Sachs. So single stock options suggest overly bullish positioning from retail and hedge funds. I do not read into this person too much. I just like to see what information they get from the they get good info from these statements. So call buying continued in single stock options over the past week, suggesting positioning remains crowded. We find this metric is a contrarian indicator for equities on average. When investors are crowded into calls, it is more difficult for equities to rally. So what this overall means to me is there are some people really trying to short this thing and it's causing it to hold up, but it's starting to really slow down. And I think we're actually noticing a time where, I think it was just a couple weeks ago or a week ago, we were saying, hey, it looks like retail's really pushing this higher on Thursday, Friday. Now it seems more so that it's retail and hedge funds are both in. So that is some bullishness coming in, even though we're not seeing it in the fear greed. So you have to be aware of some kind of rip around type of move. Okay, so that's all I want to really pay attention to there. And then we can get into things with like GME and AMC throughout the day. But the thing is, this is turned up as of today, right? Well, if we go look at VIX 9-day, that was up 24.95% and crossed up yesterday. So this is already giving you some of that confirmation. No real good divergence down here, just so you are aware. You did have the 2-hour divergences, triple divergence down here, got really, really tight. Notice how tight we are. And then now we can see that explosive move, the 2 hours going positive. What happened shortly after? Well, the daily confirms up in the same day. So that's something I would be aware of. Why the hell is the dollar moving up today in the morning? Remember, we were talking about this, how it was potentially bottoming here with the 2-hour higher low. That was not even able to cross down. That rejected very firmly. So that's just as good as this right now. That is just as good as this, because you notice we see the divergence here, and this is what we were aware of. This could dip down to make that divergence. We create a higher low instead. That is just as good as over here, because you're rejecting right by the center line, and then you're turning up. You're getting above that 5. So the last time we saw divergence, got above the 5, and then now we're seeing, hey, we're going to make a higher low, get above the 5. So the daily turning up here is a big deal. Why is this potentially about to curl up on the monthly scale in positive territory? That is something to be worried about. But we have marked off some of those times, and you'll notice the dollar bottoms first, then the market tops. The dollar keeps going, then we see a little top. The market or the dollar bottoms first, then we see a top. These are relative tops to pay attention to throughout the past few years. And we'll notice the dollar does bottom, which we called it with a 4-hour divergence right here, that it was potentially bottoming. So we were aware of that, but we're also aware that that difference can take a lot of time. The dollar can go up, can go up, can go up for, look at this. I mean, from the bottom here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then we experience something bad. Right here, this is a bigger move, so most likely it won't be 7 months, but you still could say 1, 2, 3. If that keeps going, that could last potentially for maybe even 7 months. So we'll pay attention to it. I think it'll come before then. As it is already positive. In this area, you had to go positive for that to really take over. You notice once you go positive, look at this. This was where the top was for the SPY back in 2022, December to January of 2022. And notice it's right when we go positive for the dollar. The dollar is already positive. So right when this crosses up, it could be a big warning sign, and we'll pay attention to it for you. It could mean that when the dollar does cross this up, that could be as soon as this month, that could be as soon as January. So you're kind of, if you want to get bullish, you kind of want to see the dollar drop off here. The other thing to this is, we're just talking about risks out there, right? Well, the 10-year. Look at the 10-year. It's still positive on the monthly scale. I got to clean this thing up a little bit from one of our Saturday videos. That's right, Saturday we like to look at some other things, but I just want you to notice how good this is really holding up. Oh, good. I'm kind of thankful that that's red. How good this is really holding up, and you really could just keep bottling up before this sees a reaction. Why are yields about to pop off? I can tell you right now, the Fed does not want this to pop off. This will cause a lot of problems. Okay, if this starts to pop off on the monthly, we start to go to 5.5%. That's going to be a big, big deal. Okay, so pay attention to this, because also on the daily scale, why do we notice, hey, that's still in positive territory? We didn't have a big divergence, like a clear one on the MACD and RSI. If anything, that could be cup and handle. This could be head and shoulders, right? We could see this level very, very blatant, our level of 4.495%. And now we notice, ooh, big rounding out, good consolidation. If this curls up on the daily, why are yields about to react up? And is the FOMC next week going to react? Are we going to see yields pop up, see the market drop off, and then the FOMC saves the market by saying, hey, we're going to cut those yields again. That starts to come down. Everyone starts to get bullish. And then we realize, oh, they're cutting yields for a bad reason in January of 2025. So this is kind of a warning sign. This might turn up, dollar might turn up at the same time. And that is a recipe for some turbulence in the market. Now let's round it out, because the market can do whatever the hell it wants to do. Sometimes it's in that positive, sometimes it goes into a negative correlation, positive correlation with the dollar, with the 10-year. So we can behave differently. Do we see reversal signals? No. So no matter what the dollar does, no matter what the 10-year does, unless I see a weekly crossing down and this gets really ugly, I have to be open to this touching in by that 20, curling back up into positive territory. I have to be open to a flash move down, maybe even for all the way until next week, and then we come into next week and we start to base out. Or I have to be open to this going higher before that FOMC. There's a lot that can happen, but I'm just saying this most likely is not the top according to the daily signals. I am fine with being proved wrong by a weekly crossing down, okay? I think it is more likely that we see some kind of dip buy down towards a level of 600. That's what I think is going to take place. But am I going to trade based on what I think? No. I'm going to make that situation so I am aware of the area to pay attention to. Huge put wall at 600, right? So I'm going to pay attention to that level, and if I see reversal signals there, I'm going to react. And when everyone gets really, really bearish, we will be starting to go, ooh, that's a divergence. Ooh, this can reverse around. Oh, that's a swing trade. Oh, this is reacting off the 20. That's going to really help us out. But what you're looking for is some kind of weakness here. We're looking for weakness on our indicators. We do not have that as of right now. And really, if I just do this, you're going to go, okay, that's above it. If I do this, okay, that's above it. All right. So we don't have those signals just yet. So be open to the market heading higher, even if we see something ugly. If it keeps being ugly and we don't see reversal signals, we're not going to be calling for some kind of bounce until we get maybe a swing trade confirmation if it's a V shape, right? We're going to be trading like water, and trading like water means if the stream is going down and I don't see anything that says the stream's about to go back up, then it's going to keep going down, right? That's how I want to look into it. But I don't see the reversal signals on the daily, so I can't definitively say, oh, this is potential for some kind of really bad thing, to corrective move. Hopefully we do get a corrective move right now, by the way. That would be fantastic to end up down here and then see a nice run in 2025 going into January, February. That would be fantastic. Right? So I'm just paying attention to, do I see reversal signals at all when this thing turns down? Because it's starting to turn down now. For the day, the most important signal, as the 30-minute looks like it's catching a bounce for the Qs, the most important thing you need to pay attention to for the Qs today is a trap. Genuinely, it's a trap. Because if this can go up and hold up here and violate the divergence, okay, awesome. But if this is all going to happen in one day, takes out some stops up here, goes to a higher level, gets people nice and bullish, and then you turn back down, that is going to be in a very simple divergence right by the center line. That is our signal that, hey, we're probably about to go to the 20. All right. It just means, hey, volatility might get that 85% chance today, and it might be some kind of correction. Oh, go take out the stops and fail, right? So that's what we'll pay attention to. Remember, if this does not confirm that signal, we can't talk about, hey, that's going to reverse down dramatically. We have to see that confirmed, because if this is just crossed up like this, and it's like this at the end of the day, we can just go like that tomorrow, and all of that's gone. It's going to be very important to manage position size, manage your trades, manage risk all around. But this right now is just the Qs reacting to the 5, where you like to catch a bounce, We'll see if this sets up a lower high or some kind of divergence point today. If it doesn't, then we have to be open to this positivity continuing. For volatility, all you're seeing right now is a 30-minute pullback. So this would kind of add some validity to that. The 30-minute pulls back, maybe goes to the 5 and then curls up later on today. That would be a sign, hey, we might actually see volatility start to come in, and that was some kind of trap. So that's just what I'd be paying attention to today. If you are part of the Patreon, I am waiting very patiently as the market opens for us to get down by a weekly expected move to give you guys that update video. We do have a good chance of the 30-minute bouncing here, and you have some little divergences on a 5-minute to kind of prove that at this point. You're seeing that good move already. So we'll see if we can take back the 5-day moving average. All right, so I kind of got through pretty much everything I wanted to get through, and now we can go talk about, you know, the potential for some memers. I think that would be fine to talk about this morning. We're noticing AMC still curled down on the 30-minute. It is not what you want to see, right? We need to see if this can do that by the end of the day. If it can do that by the end of the day, that would be a good signal. Anything can happen with the earnings. Most likely AMC will be affected by that. Will they fight AMC because GME catches a bid? That will be interesting. Notice here that GME looks better than AMC. Looks better than AMC, and that could just curl up into positive territory, and you're already positive here. AMC has a lot of work to do because it's still pretty damn negative down there. Just something to bring to your attention. NVIDIA, we were talking about this one in last night's video, talking about the fact that, hey, this could be some kind of cup and handle to head higher. This could be consolidation to head lower. I think you have a good chance to set up some kind of lower high. Am I going to play any of these kinds of moves? No, they're very speculative, but you are curling up the 30-minute. It would suggest a bounce, maybe to fill a gap. Watch out for the 5, watch out for our trend line. If you weren't paying attention to last night's video, first of all, start paying attention to the whole video. It will really help you because everyone is talking about what we were talking about. Everyone's talking about, hey, potential for head and shoulders, which we mentioned right here. Right here, when this confirmed, we started to build those scenarios, and this was our scenario. Now everyone's talking about it, but no one's talking about the other side. No one is talking about the fact that this is pretty slanted, and you have potential for head and shoulders in the other direction, the bullish direction, okay? This is one of the most common things you're ever going to see in the market is a head and shoulders, and they end up playing out in a million different ways. But all I need to do is see that that daily right there is in positive territory. And if that just goes like this, the most likely thing, if you see a green blip here, and you confirm above the 5 again, you confirm above the 9 again, is to test the previous high right here, or even go make a new one. So we can test some of these highs up in these areas, or go make a new one. And I would say more likely to test this level right here, 149.50. And then if you can get past that, you probably make a new one there. Let's see what you guys are chatting about. Good morning in the market. How are you guys doing? This market makes no sense. It depends. It depends on, I think, if you have a serious bias or not. It makes sense. Does it make sense for good trade setups the last, I don't know, 2 weeks? Well, you'd say the last good trade setup was maybe like, hey, the last good trade setup, if you're still holding on to that position, I've already sold out of a lot of those positions, right? I'm pretty much out of all my bullish trades once we got up to this point right here, and I'm waiting patiently. But down here, we saw the 30-minute divergences, just like over here, right? When we saw this price action, we said, everyone's going to say crash. You need to just be looking for what happened right here. And that's exactly what ended up playing out. A little bit different, right? But still ended up playing out. So bullish, 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 bullish. Now you're getting the first hint of, hey, this could be a pullback, right? Nothing about this suggests like this has to be something crazy, crazy dramatic. So that's why I'm saying if it got really dramatic, we would most likely be in some kind of black swan moment. Okay, but the most likely thing for if you're going to get this 2 hour to drop and pull back down to the center line is we're going to end up testing a weekly expected move. That's the most likely thing. And look, that matches with the breakout area, right? It matches with a breakout area. If we want to go test a little bit lower, 600 is the really important level. I marked off 599.76. That's where I really like that to hit. So we'll see. Got to be open to it going higher. Yeah, but the market makes no sense because it's too bullish, too fast, and that's why I think you're getting that reaction. AMD can catch a bounce at pretty much any time because it is below a expected move. Does that mean it's a good trade? No. So what you're doing here, and this is why it's a problem, is because you're wiping out the divergence point, the previous divergence point. You're starting to come flat on the next one. Okay, so that tells you, yeah, you can see a reaction if it's able to build up over time, but you also could be in a whole new 1, 2, 3 push down, right? You could be in a whole nother 3 push down on this 2-hour chart. Sorry, I think I might have said 30-minute, but on this 2-hour chart, you could be in some kind of 3 push down now, and this doesn't even have to stop here. That's the crazy part. So yeah, by the end of the week, it is most probable to do this, but as you're going more and more negative, it starts to add up to, ooh, that's going to be a problem. So you need more price action to make a decision with AMD. I don't hate the price point. I just do not like the look right now. You've built, you've built, you've built, you've broken, right? If we really draw this out too, you're going to see an expanding wedge. See an expanding wedge, and you're going, okay, it's going bigger moves, bigger move, bigger move, right? This could be big moves back and forth, but you have broken that now. So that's going to be a big problem. You need to retake that to see it maybe another snapback reaction. It's not a good look for AMD. If it catches a bid, that's awesome, but you don't necessarily have the fantastic signals here to tell you like, hey, yeah, this is going to bounce. If we look at a 30-minute and then we do something like, look at the 30-minute, look how deep that is. So likely to do this, what do you do when you break out of a zone? Well, you might retest into it and reject back down again. If you see this by the end of the week, that might be a little different story, right? We can talk about it, but you need more price action for that one. AMC now down 1.33%, GME up 1.32%. Very interesting. The Tesla, okay, Tesla's ripping and ripping and ripping. Once you're seeing these squeezes, it's going to be diligent to pull up 2-hour charts, 4-hour charts, daily charts, okay? When you see these type of moves and you see a daily that is way up there and you see it's this high on the MACD, I'm going to tell you right now, the easier trade is not here. The easier trade is down here on your MACD. The easier trade is down here in the price action. Because you can just say, hey, this can boom up into whatever land. That's fine. I'm not a trader who makes like decisions based on I think. Oh, I think this has a short seller problem and this could just keep rocketing. It very well can. But wouldn't I like the opportunity for this to give me it later? This is the less risky play. This is what we're talking about, risk management. Risk management in the play you even choose to look for is important. Am I going to short Tesla? No, this thing is ripping. It's going parabolic. What if it keeps going? I want to be like, hey, if it gives me that pullback, I want to be in the next move in case that goes parabolic again. Because that was a rip and a half, and it broke through structure great. Cup and handle into a cup and handle into a boom. Very, very good. And it really dropped off like it was going to double top here. Remember, we're always talking about, hey, anytime you see a double top, you always want to pay attention to a potential for cup and handle. And then it just saw the random rip and got above the resistance here. So very good for Tesla. I'm just talking about the smart decision in when the opportunity is actually there, right? I'm sure people are going to be asking about Google today, right? Google crossed up yesterday on a daily chart. Do you like daily swing trades? Because that's what was suggested. Now you're running into the top Bollinger. What if we need to move sideways, right? We've seen these gap ups in the market before. You're breaking through resistance. You might need to retest that on shorter time frames. Let these start to catch up for a couple of days, and then you see the next reaction higher. Now, the other part to this is if this just flips right back down, that could be a massive trap. I don't think so, as the 2-hour is extremely positive. And the last time we saw something bad, we saw this, we mentioned it, and something bad happened. We saw divergence at the top, we saw divergence at the top, triple divergence, bam, bad things happen. Do you have that now? No. So if that just ripped down, once again, it would be more of a black swan. And I'm not going to bet on a black swan happening. I'm going to bet that the positivity most likely continues to get people even more bullish than they already are. All right, that was fun. I think we talked about a lot of stuff. And yeah, Google got good news. And Google got good news with bad signals, right? And that's the thing. If you get those signals, it means a big move is coming. And the most probable thing is, hey, yeah, that might need to pull back. But if it's bullish and it gets bullish news, that reaction can happen the other way. That's why you want to be very risk managed at all times with position sizes in shorting anything in this market. And if we really even look at this right now, I'm kind of going, that's more controlled than I want it to be on the 30-minute. I want more of this. We're kind of stair-stepping making these points. So VIX actually turning back up as of right now. Let's see what happens with that throughout the day. Cool. TLT looks like taking a breather with all the 30-minute divergence. With the 2-hour rejecting here, you can see the 2-hour pullback further. You can even see a daily turn down here. And this is why we're bringing up the 10-year being able to turn up. Because if this daily does cross down, it's not a good sign. Now, this is a rapid move down. The 2-hour is still positive. So the most likely thing is the 2-hour is going to be able to catch some ground at some point. Starts to confirm down the day. Like, look, you're just retesting the breakout area again, which you've done that before. So if we can retest that again and see some bullishness, hey, 2-hour curls up, great for TLT. Not convincing me to take out my investment just yet. Qs, I think, will be the best thing to pay attention to on the 30-minute. SPY showing some weakness. I'm going to go look at banks real quick. What the heck? I'm going to go look at banks. Sorry, give me 1 second, then I'll get back to the chat. I want to go look at KRE. Okay, yeah, that's really not looking good. Oh, that's a rejection for KRE. Ooh, that's a bad look. That is not what you want to see for KRE. Still a lot of room for KRE on the daily scale. But you'll notice that at the top, what did we see? 2-hour divergence. If you want to say triple divergence on the RSI, it's pretty much there. A little bit higher, so maybe not. Maybe more multiple point. And what you want to pay attention to now is, well, look at this. Head and shoulders could pop up, right? We could get a reaction from a level of about 64.50 and then see if that's able to catch some ground. Maybe that turns back up on the daily scale. The 2-hour is starting to go a little more negative, so lower high would be likely. But you're looking for something like this in that lower high. If this is going to be a bigger daily pullback, hey, we could still pull back. We could fondle around down here for a little bit. Do I see massive reversal signals? You have an argument for it, I would say, but I would like to see it in the near price action, in the near MACD readings, right? I would like to see this maybe dip down to here, curl back up and confirm the lower high, or confirm back up and go for the double top. That's what I would like from KRE. All right, so we have the Qs heading up, the SPY heading down, volatility slightly positive, and Dixie popping off. And XLU dropping off a cliff. Oh, that's not a good sign. Oh, that's a really bad signal for XLU. Yeah, it's not very good. Hey, why'd you tell? I haven't said the world be in. Well, I did actually, and then Donald Trump actually was able to win it. We were having some cheating there, but no, I try to keep aware of bad things, bad timings. And in that timing, we had bad signals. We got rid of them after the election, which is very, very good. Now I'm saying that, you know, banks actually could catch a bounce soon, but it's not a good signal. Now we're seeing, hey, everything we're talking about is starting to happen here. The Qs are starting to bounce off of that 5. We'll see if that can confirm up. If it just rejects from the daily expected move, or is it going to go a little bit higher? And the reason that I keep saying that things could get ugly faster than you think is just, I know the shorter time frames leak up, but I want you to have it in your mentality of just like have that risk management in play. It doesn't mean not taking upside plays, right? I've taken upside plays throughout the past few months, but I'm not trying to be like, oh, okay, this hit a trend line, therefore it's going to fall down. No, I'm still you can tell I'm still looking for the same things. That's why I think this is going to remain bullish for a little bit of time. But I think we need to go test that 20 before it happens. Yeah. So you won? What'd you win? Short Fridays. What'd you win? Gotta go, ruining my battery. IWM's interesting because that one actually dropping off dramatically, and it really looked like it wanted to make the 2-hour move higher, but now you've just broken through. So more to be done here. Daily pullback still in play, but maybe that's a react. See how the IWM's going down to the 20? So maybe the IWM's kind of leading us and saying like, hey, you need to at least go test that 20, see if the 2-hour confirms. Wasn't Amazon, Short Fridays, wasn't Amazon potentially like doing something with Bitcoin? What was that? Wasn't there something with Amazon and Bitcoin? It's not? Yeah, it's still mark off there. Because you have a little zone here if we really wanted to. Something like $77. Yeah, Amazon going bonkers. And I think this does continue, actually. Yeah. Yeah, Amazon looks like a rip and a half. So to say that that's going to stop, probably not. More likely to see a pullback to retest the breakout or gap resistance, gap support, sorry. 2580 would be a great level for this to hit. And that would just be like a 2-hour pullback at this point. Hopefully it just holds up better than that. That'd be even better. Depends on when they added Bitcoin. Depends on when they added Bitcoin, but like I wonder what price it was at. So that's great. And the thing is, that's great for the stock because this was really not liking things. Now, we remember last month this confirmed, and we said multiple times, this is confirming, but it's on a positive bar. It's not below the 9. So you have to be aware that these things can start to turn back up. And probably weekly scale is what was looking in here. Yeah, weekly scale. So this could continue according to the weekly scale. And you don't have daily bad signals, so that's why I'm really thinking like I want to take an opportunity if I get some kind of pullback down to the 20. That's why we'll pay attention to the cues for some kind of trap throughout the week, throughout the day probably. Look at that, it's a big move. Once we get to 525.48, that's where you got to watch. If you want to talk about PCC, it's just you saw a bearish day, and I think a lot of people are going to make bearish bets early on. Like people get excited to short when they see one red day, like one that wipes out like this, like especially for SPY, since that wiped out a few days, they're going to be excited to try to short that. I'm not paying as much attention to PCC right here, more so just looking at, hey, are we going to get some kind of, like, do we actually have big reversal signals on the daily? We don't. Yeah. Like the PCC going up, the main thing I want to be watching is the dollar continuing to go up, right? That's the main thing I want to be watching right now. Is volatility, is the dollar going up? You do notice like the SPY going up, the dollar going up, the Qs going up all at the same time. But you notice people still trying to short the move, which means you could squeeze for a bit today. And that still makes sense to squeeze all the way up to at least 525.48. So we'll see if that can continue. We haven't even crossed up the MACD yet, though. Will Palantir bounce? Palantir actually showing some bad stuff here. But like we said before, I don't see topping out signals for the 30-minute. And what does this thing like to do? It's been riding the 5 this whole way up. So that just tells me if the 30-minute confirms, I should be open to this testing. I would actually say more likely to test in this level or go make a new high. Yeah, that's that monthly divergence taking over. That's what I was saying in last night's video about AMD. The reason I'm not even looking at it lately for a trade, I don't talk about it. I really don't. Is just because the monthly signal is bad here. The difference between AMD's monthly signal and Microsoft's monthly signal is the monthly signal for AMD had a negative bar with the confirmation. That is a real confirmation. Right, that is a 3 out of 3, pretty much right there. The Microsoft one. Sorry. So the Microsoft one had a green bar with it. Sorry about the bark. I think we have like pest control. Here, give me one moment here. Sorry, we have something happening here at the house. Is eaten by his dog. Yeah. I'm so sorry about the bark, guys. Didn't mean to. He like walked over here and then barked, so he was like right next to the mic. Yeah, we have Bruce and Alan are the boys that are barking. Those are the big mean barks. Trust me, if I got another dog, I could name it Steve. I love those kinds of names. Yes, it is, Reese. We have Bruce Wayne and we have Alan Fieldhouse Hansen. Now you want to see a head and shoulders playing out. That looks like Oracle, but it played out in a different way, right? They always play out wonky a lot of the time. And look, it even shot to take out the stops. Okay, so for Oracle, wait, is this Oracle? Yeah, for this one here, you look at this and you'd go, oh, that's going to be a head and shoulders. But look, it kind of plays out like, oh yeah, we're going to drop through, then we're going to create that right shoulder, then we're going to take out stops, then head lower, right? It played out in a different way. But the key thing is it's rejecting again, which is almost like another point of divergence, but you have daily divergence across the top here. That played out down first, but I'm just noticing that a lot of the 2 hour is not happy with this, and you pretty much have all this happening right now. That is a bad sign for the daily, and it's just starting. Now you can get retests and things like that, but this just tells us that we should expect this probably to go down a little bit lower. Maybe you get a snap reaction back to these. The other bullish thing, right? We would say a bullish thing too. We got to keep both in mind. If that daily just confirms up at any time in positive territory and it's able to hold up at these levels, be open to that making the next bullish move. Thank you, Shane, for the $5. Yeah, we can look at Lucid real quick. So this gave you hints of weakness. It made a really wonky head and shoulders and then ended up taking out stops, ended up breaking the low with some kind of big gap with earnings. And I didn't notice the E there. Earnings, always a 50-50 flip. Hey, you got to get out of jail free card if you were bullish on it before, right? That's where you get out of a lot of the positions so you have no risk in it. And then if it gaps down, you're like, ah, damn, well, at least I didn't lose anything. I have a Husky German Shepherd and a Pit Bull. Bruce is a Pit Bull. Alan is the Husky German Shepherd. Lucid, very good with the higher low, most likely on the 2 hour here. So the signal for this to get a good move is that 2 hour confirming the higher low. And you had a bunch of wonky divergence down here. So the higher low was overall, I think, the better play. You see that strong confirmation. You go, okay, that is my go signal. It's the first move into positive territory. Daily starts to rocket towards that center line. Now, is the job overall won here? I think you're at a great level to consolidate. That's what I would say. So I'd expect at least a 30-minute, if not a 2 hour pullback. We don't see 30-minute reversal signals, so I'd like to see that do something like this, and you might have yourself a massive move coming. We'll see. Daily looks pretty good. If things start to change, then obviously if bigger time frames start to rotate down, that's not a good thing. Bank of America. This is interesting because Bank of America on the 30-minute is giving divergence here. All right, so this is where, once again, people probably talking about, oh, is this potential for head and shoulders? Yes. Right? Yes, they play out. They don't have to go directly down, right? We see it do it before. It's fine. Usually that's why I draw zones, right? But what we want to notice is 30-minute. What are you guys doing? 30-minute divergence right here, and you see it on your MACD, you see it on your RSI at the same time. It'd be nice if I had weekly expected moves for Bank of America. This just tells us that, hey, you're about to see maybe the 2 hour rotate around. Now, does that mean the 2 hour has to be some kind of massive move? Not necessarily. You're still a little bit deep, but it could be the first inclination if the 2 hour can take this all back. If we can start to react to something like 47.25, confirm back down, retest off of the 5-day as that turns back around, that would be an overall good sign for the stock to head higher. So now I want to look at the daily scale though. Daily scale could still drop more, but this is pretty good. If the daily confirms up, then you have more daily upside. But yeah, 2 hour looks like it can bounce from here. 30-minute divergence has confirmed. Is it going to confirm on this bar? It hasn't confirmed yet, but when it does confirm, you might even be taking back that 5-day. No daily expected moves for individual stocks throughout the week. You can't make them. For the indices, you can. For something that has expiration every single day, you can. If you have a TLT with an expiration today, because I think it has like 2 a week or something like that, you can calculate a daily, but you can't calculate a daily expected move for NVIDIA. Yeah, so that's going to be key, but you do have a 30-minute signal here suggesting there could be some kind of 2 hour bounce. Hopefully you can get through. If that 2 hour can cross up, it is suggesting that if that confirms. Hasn't confirmed yet on the 30-minute, but that is suggesting we can see the next 2 hour push. And then you want to watch that and make sure there's no weakness in it. But for the most part, that could be another bullish move coming. I know, boys. We have a visitor. I get it. It's scary. Yeah, sorry about that, Sid. It's just you can't. And if at least, I mean, yeah, you kind of need an expiration for it. So if you don't have expiration for it on a certain day, then you're using bad data. Like you're using data that's gonna, it'll get, like if you try to do it with the Friday expiration data, you're gonna come up with a number, but that number is kind of like very speculative. I haven't seen anything for GME. We'll see that later on today. SoFi was interesting because it's really held up well, actually. It's held up really, really well for this 2-hour divergence. That is, you know, a bad sign for the daily. You don't see big reversal. What you want to see is this is a massively bullish move. So anything that looks like an opportunity, as that's very, very controlled, where did we go? We tested the 20. See, isn't that fantastic? You got that little wick down to the 20 saying, hey, there's buyers there. Now I'm looking for that 2-hour confirmation. Let's see how the last 2-hour confirmation played out, even though it set up a divergence and it was kind of small. Right, on this bar right here. And then you might have been in like the retest here, maybe that scares you out. But if you held all the way to the top, 15%, pretty quick there, 9 days. And then the 30-minute divergence right here probably convinced you, ooh, that can get pretty ugly. So that would be something that convinces me to take it out, 1621. Yeah, and that's why I'd really see if this 2-hour can confirm up. It's still positive. That's why I want to talk about positivity. It's still really far from the center line, right? Oh, I guess that move only went to like here before it crossed down. So it would be less than 15%, maybe like 12. What you want to see is this is controlled. It's great. Can we get that good, strong green bar that says, yeah, we're going to test this high, go make a new one. Yeah, we're going to cross up this MACD. We're already getting across the center line for the RSI. You're just seeing if that 2-hour can make that pop. Yeah. Qs is pretty important though today. I think the Qs will give us the big hint. We can go look at the SPY, but most likely this is not seeing that much positivity even with the little 5-minute divergence there, but the 30-minute can pop from here. I think the scenario that would be the most trappy would be a lower high for the SPY, and then that causes the Qs to break through, take out some stops, go to a higher level, and then you see that confirm back down. I think that's when we're probably going to start to make the 2-hour or the pullback down to the 20 for both of these. Thank you for covering Oracle. Yeah, I tried to go over it a little bit quickly. It was more one that like showed bad signals, but just note it was with earnings BK. So I looked at it, but just note everything that I say about it. Earnings is a 50-50 flip. It's just, you know, which way is the stock going to go after earnings? Okay, now you know, look for 30-minute, 2-hour pullbacks or bounces, I guess, since it was down. And then you can look for opportunities, right? All right, I got some stuff to look at just real quick over here. Just want to check on some stuff. Apple looks like it needs a breather. Tesla needs a breather, but that thing is just moving. Amazon needs a breather, but that thing is going to do a 30-minute move, maybe higher first. We don't have the best divergences even on the 30-minute for Amazon, so that can continue. Yeah, that can continue. We don't have like a bunch of weakness in Amazon. You have just super overbought readings over and over and over again. So very, very bullish there for Amazon. But eventually you're going to get that 2-hour daily pullback, and then maybe that's the better opportunity. I think if this 2-hour can pull back, hopefully it pulls all the way back to 215. That would be sick. Most likely it's a little bit more controlled than that. Nvidia still making that 30-minute move higher, crossed up, perfect. Meta crossing up on the 30-minute, trying to make the next move higher. Let me look at the 2-hour for Meta. 2-hour had divergence. Looking for rejection past the high. So 30-minute divergence past the high for Meta. Microsoft starting to set up little points of weakness here, but still very bullish, right? Am I going to bet against it, or am I going to take the next positive? The next bullish trend most likely will be easier than to take a bearish play. Google, do not be a trap. SoFi still waiting. UJT hasn't confirmed the 2-hour yet. Palantir 30 minutes. Still trying to confirm it, but you're just about to for Palantir. Oh my god, Wolf tanked. Oh, it's a fun one, isn't it? All right, so over here, I'm gonna leave this up for now. And then over here, we got the Qs up. Okay, that's what I wanted. I like it. Palantir has just remained strong, remained strong, remained strong. I mean, I was critical of Palantir when it had bad signals, but it got rid of them. You've seen me totally, like, I tell you, I trade like water. Let me see, let me go look at Palantir, because I know I took a short position at some point, and it was back in November 18th was when I took that. And then I managed to trade throughout this, and then once I saw the 2-hour confirm back up, I go, oh no, that's not something I want to be shorting. Yeah. We just keep holding that 5-day very, very well. No reversal signal on the 30-minute yet, so it's just saying like, hey, I can go higher. I can take out 78 again, that's for sure. That's what it's gearing up to do. We'll see if that remains. I was critical of Amazon until that push on December 4th. December 4th was the push that I go, oh, we've just violated all the divergences. Amazon is super bullish now. There you go. No real traps inside, no real 2-hour divergence like really played out, right? Nothing really, actually nothing confirmed on the 2-hour for divergence at all ever for this run. And you don't even have a 2-hour divergence right now. So you don't have a 30-minute, you don't have a 2-hour, then the 30-minute might continue, set a trap, then the 2-hour turns down, then that sets up an opportunity for the pullback, right? And then that's where you just play the trend. Oh, goodness. What's this guy doing? Deutsche Bank raises the price target to 370 yesterday. Oh, we're above that now. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Okay. Now we're running into the first point to pay attention as the Qs head up into that daily expected move. We want to be very clear in saying, like, I think the Qs are very likely to violate this and try to go higher, and more paying attention to, do we violate the divergence or do we set up another point? That's when I'll be a little more like, hey, yeah, that test of the 20 is probably incoming. CPI tomorrow can really shake things up, though. I wonder if CPI will push us higher to violate those divergences, then we keep getting those minor pullbacks, or if CPI is going to be the reason we actually fall, and the reason that kind of the 10-year looks like it wants to turn up. Ooh, that's a little bit bad. the dollar has broken out from that 106.49 level. The daily is looking like, hey, it really is gearing up here. I wonder if the bull run comes if the dollar does this and then fails. I wonder if that happens and then the dollar actually backs off again. That'd be interesting. I might pay attention to that. Might write that down. I can remember it. Famous last words. I can remember. No. Shit. Yeah, we can look at Target real quick. This stuff's still building up. Qs. We want to watch that reaction, so let's try to do Target decently quick here. Target, first of all, 30-minute. Do you see any kind of massive thing that says this is going to break down? No, you just saw a good wick up. That is a good sign. So the 30-minute is still in pullback mode. That can keep going, right? And you're kind of okay with that, keeping it going, and then seeing if that 5 can get retested, and then just confirm the next move higher. There's no real bad signals in here. The 2 hour, good little V shape actually right there. Very interesting. And then now we're kind of leaking sideways. We consolidate, we break through. Awesome. Now we're positive. So if the 2 hour crosses, that's probably not the best sign, but it could just be a higher low. You're pretty positive again. So more likely that 30-minute will continue, then you'll see some kind of 2 hour pullback and continue the trend higher. And I think this move over here might be bigger than all of this. I actually like that for Target. Daily was able to confirm up. Does this have great reversal signals? No. So you always have to be open to potential for that to take a double dip. Even if this sees that great run all the way up to the 200, just be open to maybe a higher low, because this is pretty good so far. I'd be open to divergence too, though. Always am. I just haven't traded too much of the Chinese stocks. Like, I looked into BABA a few times for, like, you know, people that ask me questions, like my uncles, my dad, you know, I look at that stuff. But I more so just really like to trade things like Apple, things like even Nvidia. I've traded a lot actually over the past like 4 months. It's given great signals at times, so I've been trading that a little bit and then playing some stuff back and forth with AMC and GME. So it's just not ones that I like to stick with what I know, like what's been good to me in the past, what I understand the behavior. Apple doing some crazy things, right? Doing some crazy things. So I'm kind of backing off from Apple for a sec, but I see that this is a great daily trend. And then if I see this go like that and then turn back up, I'm more so going to trade things that I know. It's something that I suggest to people. If you understand things more, it's like BABA, a Chinese stock, any Chinese stock. It's like, am I going to understand that better than I can understand Apple, a product that I've used for a long time? Think I'm becoming a bear at heart? Well, just give it time. Give it time. You know, the thing about me is I will tell you when the signals are seriously bad. I will. And I'll tell you when they're good. And that's why I think people need to watch the entire video, because this was good. Right? We were saying this was good, and people were calling me a bear here, and I was like, I'm exactly the opposite. This was good. And we said, look for this right here. Right? I said this is a 30-minute divergence. That's probably going to bounce, but I didn't really think that that would gap amazingly up. It did. It got rid of the terrible signals in here, so we immediately trade like water. We switch our thinking. It's if I go, oh, this is still bearish, this is still bearish, this is still bearish, I would have lost my entire account by now, because that thing just kept going if I was really, really bearish. No, the more likely thing was, oh, this is a new set of bull run. Like, we don't have those signals anymore. Right? And then when this dropped, we were like, hey, this is where, hey, it can get a little scary here, but ooh, that dropped off. That doesn't have the signals that we had over here. So I want to make sure that I know, hey, this is most likely to set up something just like over here. It did, and we mentioned that, and then it goes to the upside. And then people called me a bear in here, and I was just like, I don't get it. I said that this is going to be a bull move. We don't have a 2-hour divergence yet. So now once we get up to here, that's when I start going, okay, now we're going to need some more. Now we're going to have some problems maybe. But we kept going higher, and that means the daily has crossed through and violated the divergence. So what does that mean? Most likely this needs to make something like that to see more downside. So most likely the trend does continue in the upward direction. I'm just noticing that this is a time where we can experience something bad, and I'm warning you almost like 2 weeks in advance. I'm like, if you see a dramatic pullback and then we end up confirming back up, that's what we have to be open to. And then after that next confirmation back up, that's where we'll be looking out for the major reversal signals. So it's like, it's kind of like you're feeling bearish at the right time, but you have to understand that you might be off by 2 weeks. You could be, and that's fine. It's like if I wanted to, I could buy some volatility and play for the next week in case something really bad happened. But then I have to see the reversal and be willing to sell that to be like, okay, this is going to reverse back up. Here, give me 1 second. I'm gonna make sure everything's cool upstairs real quick because someone's here, so I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Alrighty. Oh, I left you guys on a daily chart? That's freaking lame. What a silly goose. 30 minutes still we're paying attention to here. Tell us the SPY's about to die. Give it more time. You gotta give it more time. The SPY is more likely to confirm up the 30-minute here. So what we want to see is the SPY going to reject from here? We have a lot of time for that to take place. Now, if the SPY's not going to get there, then the Qs might reject now. But I think it's more likely to see, hey, this 30-minute might curl up for a little bit today, and then we see something bad happen. Right, and that could leak out into tomorrow, right? That could not happen at all. You have to be open to the fact that this is still bullish. And if we violate this divergence right here, then we need to make those signals later on, right? That's why I was stating, like, even a few days ago, last week, I'm not looking for, I'm looking for the divergences that pop up and do they fully play out. Right now you have one, you can go make that triple push higher, but if you violate that, then this isn't the one and it's later. right? Or it might be on the SPY, right? So the Qs are more what I'm paying attention to now. If the SPY wants to go to a daily expected move, then that's fine. The Qs might react up. We need to see if people get a little bit more bullish today, intraday. But you can see CPC, the total is 0.79. Yeah, the total for this is 0.79 right now. So you're getting down to extreme low levels over and over again. So I'm just being patient. I think you have a good chance at it, but that's if it sets up. Nothing has set up yet. You just need more time. By end of day, you might see it. Maybe you'll see a rejection right now, but I think you're more likely to see this have the SPY trend upward for a little bit. It just depends. If this confirms up, then you gotta be open to it, that dude. You know, Chris, if this confirms up, where is it? Like, just think very simply. Well, if this confirms up and it goes positive, that can be a good thing. When's the last time we saw something similar to this that was even worse but ended up being good? Well, this confirmed up. When that went positive, you go, okay, now I have to be open to that going higher, right? So this one's even closer to positive territory. So be open to it if this confirms up. And then you would say, where am I targeting? Well, monthly expected moves above you, but also be open to a trap. So is this going to be a bullish move that I'm really excited for that to go through the roof? No, it's just not at this point. Even if this does all of this, violates the divergence, I'm not going to be taking upside plays just yet. I'm still waiting for the opportunity in the future for that bigger pullback to get bullish again. I'm giving myself a breather, you know? But I get it, it's hard because it really looks like this. It's like, wow, that 2 hours just skying, Apple 2 hour just skying, all those kinds of things. Oh yeah, let me go look at that for you real quick, Fardis. I'll look on my other screen real quick. Ooh, not a good drop off for the 30-minute. Yeah, that's just a speculative one. There's not a lot of technicals to do with this one, unfortunately. Sorry about it, Fardis, but there's just not a lot of technicals you can do for this one. I don't really see much good here. You're actually seeing the 2 hour might end up curling down in negative territory, which can be really bad. So pull up a 2 hour, see how big that drop is, and if that confirms down on the MACD, that would not be a good sign. If it can, you know, not confirm down and whip back up, you got a chance, but that is a bad drop right there. This one's just a speculative one. There's no technicals that'll really help me out too much with this. You've never been down to this price point before. I don't think. Yeah, you never have been down to this price point before and you're just dropping off a cliff. So that's a speculative one. No real technicals to help you out, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that, Fardis. I don't like that 2 hour making that big move down. That's for sure. Yeah. So it's like, you know, if I was going from the, you know, potential for a pop one and I have a bunch of extra money, I could do something, I could buy share. But would I do an option play with it? That's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Well, the initial up was kind of given to us. And someone's saying 5-minute charts. I actually did think 5-minute charts were useful here because you're by the 5 and you have a little 5-minute divergence. That's where you're going to see the next 30-minute move up. That's how you kind of know the most probable thing is that 30-minute to really try to get to that topside move. Like learning little things like this, like I get it. But you notice there's also always a bearish case. Like this could have done that. But you gap above some key levels, gap above it, and then you end up heading higher. The most likely thing was reversal here. You're in a bullish trend, so anytime you see a bullish signal, it's more likely to play out. You're in a bullish trend. When you're in a bearish trend and you see a bearish signal, it's very likely to play out because you're in a bearish trend. If you see a bearish trend in a bullish signal, a little bit less likely to play out, more think about pullbacks, right? But yeah, that's the 5-minute look. This is what we showed for the SPY, right? The SPY giving this. So the SPY might catch up, might not. It's kind of rejecting from that topside daily expected move right now. Let me see here. I know someone just asked, I think it was Jack just asked about Kava. Let's go give that a peek real quick. Ooh, that's a rough move down. Not a lot to hint you about this. Not really the most bearish look in the world. No massive 30-minute divergence. Just like, hey, I want to confirm up. It even did. That is unfortunate. That is a rough one. And this is where you want to be really trading like water. If you get a confirmation one day and you take a play and you wake up in the morning and the first bar you see is this, it might mean watch out. You're very close to the center line. So this is pretty much rejecting like a lower high immediately. So that was the unfortunate thing. That was the unfortunate thing. Let me see, been holding swing short Kava 140. Now, it just depends on when that position was taken out. 2 hours deep, daily is confirming here, and weirdly enough, daily is confirming divergence. This is actually really bad for Kava. Now, you're in an area where you can find that support. That's first of all. You are still positive on the daily, so watch out if that thing's going to bounce. You do not have any inclination that that is going to bounce right now. And by inclination, I mean, you don't have any signals that say like, hey, that has to bounce. If that were to bounce from here, it'd just be like an oversold bounce, and that could easily set up a lower high. It could retest something like 140. So right now you're going, oh, if I took a short on that 30-minute cross down for the lower high, awesome, I've made good money. And then you just want to be like, okay, how low can this go? Well, if I pull out to the daily, you're going to see a few wicks in this area. So that would be where I would actually kind of like to see a little bounce here to retest some levels. And then you get good confirmation of like, yeah, that is going down. But just notice all the way across weakness, all the way across weakness. So it's not necessarily the best look for Kava right now. I want to look at a weekly. Yeah, see the weekly drop. So that means you might be in a weekly pullback. Now, we've seen this plenty of times. You could just like sit around here for a week or two and then end up turning back up. Look at the brief turn back up. It was from the 20. So it just bottled up for a couple of weeks in here. 1, 2, 3 at the 20. And then the fourth one broke through. So you could just go 1, 2, 3 at the 20 and break through. But this could be a little bit different as you're making a bunch of flat divergences, starting to tilt down a little bit. Maybe we need to go back and retest a breakout area again, since we didn't retest that on the weekly scale. Did you retest on the daily? Not the best retest on the daily scale, but it's there. So I would say that if Kava went down to 90, what is that, 96-ish? Let me look at the actual breakout. There, 95, so like 96 looks like a good level, maybe even just before that at some kind of gap fill at 101.86, but I think 96 would be a great level for that to bounce from, like to actually catch a good bounce. And that would be maybe where the weekly starts to jump back up, and you see that weekly 50 is starting to come up. So if you can get a flash move down, that'd be a great level. But you just have to be aware that the last time this curled down on a weekly, it did this. So if that happens again, look for the reversal signals in there. Kind of want to look at that again. It's just very interesting. You actually did get a divergence with the low. Let's see if it's on the 2 hour though. It might end up being a higher low on the 2 hour. Okay, all right, awesome. So you have divergence at the low, that was telling you the daily might confirm back up. One reaction down, take out the stops, and then you confirm back up. And look how close to the center line that confirmation was. Very, very close, and then you just ride that 5. So very good look here. You're looking for that pretty much in the next few weeks towards what these areas in here. Its last bounce on earnings rejected immediately. Ooh. Home builders taking a beating. Let's go look at that housing sector. That is a bad sign for the housing sector. We're still in areas where we can catch bounces. Like, we're really moving sideways. Thought this head and shoulders might hold up better, but it's kind of failing as of right now. So daily is crossing down into negative territory. Even with the double bottom divergence, that might have already played out completely. This is where weekly might be pretty important. Weekly has confirmed divergence, and you're kind of rejecting. So that could mean deeper for the housing sector. That could mean deeper for home builders. And you're about to get a reaction up from yields. Holy. Yeah, home builders, same thing. I just look at HGX to even talk about home builders like Nail and things like that. It's going to be the similar look. Just it's 3 times leverage. So I like to look at things. If it's 3x leverage, I just look at the correlated one, which is for the most part HGX. Yeah. Dollar still screaming past that level. Daily hasn't confirmed up yet. But it's a good thing we were paying attention to that 4-hour divergence down here. The 10-year starting to turn back up. We'll see if that continues. CPI can change that, so we'll find out. The Qs actually are trying to, seems like they're trying to reject. We haven't gotten that confirmation up yet. If it's on a negative bar, I don't like it. So you see that little blip of green, I believe. Is that even green? No, it's not green yet. So what we want to look for is, does this actually confirm with a green bar that this is going to go up? Because if not, we did talk about this type of scenario. This could be a little mini head and shoulders in here. As long as it doesn't take out this level, that can be considered head and shoulders. But people are really trying to short today. We know the CPC is overall low. Palantir solid. Ooh, didn't confirm up yet. Come on, Palantir. You can do it, buddy. We believe in you. Oof. Once that daily pulls down, though, it might be a little rough. I would say 60 bucks maybe. Hopefully it just goes to the 20, keeps going. But you need something more, 60 bucks. If you need more than that, all the way to 44.70. SPY, let's go check on you real quick. Yeah, no confirmation up just yet. Is the 5-minute giving us a turn down? No, not even turning down yet. So still more probable to see some kind of 30-minute confirmation. Oh, GM. General Motors. Rather see the 2-hour. 2-hour rejection at the low. This might be where you have to go into an hourly, because it's right in between. If you can get an hourly confirmation up, I'd say you take back the 5. This actually could reverse around. I think you could see the 2-hour reject real hard from that level. And let's see the daily. Yeah, daily's by the center line. So you are getting inclinations of a bounce from the 50 right now from GM. Very plainly on the hourly. And if that thing can actually confirm, and here's the thing, this is very tight, but it is there. So I would say if it can take back these levels, right? If it can take this back, that would be a good sign to go test something like $55, right? It's a little move right now, but you want to pay attention to the little ones. And then you just say, hey, if the daily confirms up, I hold it for the swing trade. I can say swing trade, how high is that going to go? Well, we had divergence at the top, so I'll be open to a lower high. I'll watch the signals. If I see a 2-hour divergence at any time, I might be out of that position. But that could easily go like this, right? That could easily go up, break through resistance, use it as support, and then go higher, and then make that divergence that you need to get out up here. So, so it depends on how long you have out the option for and things like that. If it were me, it's what? Tuesday? So what I'd be doing is, if this proved on an hourly, I would manage the trade for 48 hours. And then I would say, okay, is the swing trade confirming? And then I go, okay, how long out is my position? If I have a month out, I would say, okay, I'm going to make a weekly expected move for next week. If we go straight up to that move, I might sell some contracts. That's how I like to treat it. So this is good. You're seeing it today, and now you know, okay, I might need to make a weekly expected move for GM over the weekend. At least that's how I'm seeing it. Now, I want this to go positive. I really want this to go positive here. This is very, very tight. It's a very tight divergence, very significant. On an hourly, though, so I really want to see it go positive. Yeah. I think it's a great time to pay attention to it. Thank you for bringing it up, Dawson, because look at that. It's going to the 50. Like, that's not bad. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I'm screwed. No. It looks like a good retest here of the 50. And then you just want to be aware that these things are confirming. When you start to get a little more bearish is if you see this 2 hour start to turn down. If this kind of goes like, oh, that hourly confirmed, and then you see that rotate back down, that hourly unconfirms, and then the 2 hour rotates down, that means it might be heading a little deeper, which isn't the worst thing. If you want a daily to turn up, sometimes you need to see daily divergence or 2 hour divergence. But you do have a rejection one right now on the 2 hour, and that's why I'm going into hourlies to show it. That Laffy Taffy, that Laffy Taffy. Alrighty, what are we at here? Still no confirmation, still no confirmation. VIX dropping off pretty good there, no divergence just yet. I might actually have to pull up futures by tonight. Go look at that. My US 100 2 hour. Yeah. That hasn't confirmed either, so that's good. This is a rip around, move back and forth kind of trade like water market, you know what I'm saying? Hope SPY gets to 606. I mean, daily expected move is kind of with you on that. I think the 5-minute little mini divergence there is with you on that. I think that's a very likely thing to happen. It just depends on if the keys can really break through. You're starting to see these little wicks, but it might not be anything to worry about. Just want to see the 5-minute, no real reversal in here. If the 5-minute curls down, still likely to hold up a little bit better. The key thing is we retook this, right? We have the double bottom. It's probably not going to be the most massive move, but we're letting that 5 catch up. We haven't confirmed back down yet, so this can take some time. But right now, it's still looking good, and now you have a green bar, and it's trying to confirm. So if that holds for 21 minutes, the most likely thing is to test the high, go make a new one, right? One of those two options. Tesla, a new high. That's what I'm saying. I ain't betting against Tesla. Hell no. Oh my goodness. Courageous. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. I gotta go to the gym today. I'm sore as fuck. Tesla's high as fuck. Tesla is, well, I mean, Tesla's like, now it's already sending rockets and stuff out into space. Now it's just sending its stock price, you know, like SpaceX. What up? Tesla's one of those that even the puts go up when the stock is going up. Yeah, there's probably some major put buying, and so you're probably seeing some funky stuff in the options chain there. And like the premiums. Nicola! Wait, that's Ricola. My bad. That's just silly. I just punched myself in the ear. That felt nice. It didn't feel nice. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. IWM. IWM went so deep. Now it's wicking out. I want to see if that 2 hour can swing up again. I mean, the last swing up, by the way, notice how IWM has moved. The last swing up was from a major drop, right? We dropped with the divergence on the 30-minute here. Dropped. Then it confirmed back up and saw another big move. Now you're seeing it hold like this. If that confirms up, it's actually better positioning than the last time. It's closer to positive territory, which means, ooh, maybe a big move is coming for IWM. Got to confirm up though. Looks pretty controlled. Pretty controlled. And then we might end up, because I'm assuming people connected like this and went like this. Yeah, that looks like the connection. And then if that's not it, then it's going to be this. And it's going to have to prove itself for a while, but we'll just wait a little bit there. Just see if that holds. Looks like an RSI wedge to the downside here. Yeah, I'm not the biggest on making these RSI wedges, but I don't know about that. It looks like very flaggy on the RSI, if anything. It just looks like the price action ahead of you, but the big thing is it's tight. It's tight, right? I assume if I kind of went like this, what am I on, a 2 hour? Yeah. You see how it's really getting still a little spread out, but it's still pretty tight in here, right? You're not looking like this. You're kind of like, might fall off the cliff. So I got to wait for that confirmation on the 2 hour for that to head up. The Starbucks. Yeah, you have no 30-minute. I don't think you have 30-minute. Yeah, you have a very flat one. This is like the one of ones, but the way the 2 hour is stacked right here and the way that it's controlled really convinces me, hey, don't fall asleep on IWM. We looked at Kava. I'm down to look at the Bucks, dude. Down to look at the Bucks, bro. All right, let's see. Well, is this actually going to bounce on the 2 hour, or is this something to be more worried about? I mean, you just have it on the RSI, so a mean pullback was likely. Now you want to see if there's 30-minute. Okay, 30-minute divergence. This produces a bounce. And you see that confirm? This is the move. This overall, you know, if you take the near trend here, tapering off, if that can bounce from this level, you would be confirming the divergence here. You see that on your MACD? See that on your RSI? That means that Starbucks actually could be some kind of opportunity if it confirms. It's got to confirm. Is this a good level to test? You're off the 50, so it's great. You're seeing multiple reasons here, and that's good. Now, the daily is confirming a bad divergence here, so that's not pretty, but that means, okay, I need to be aware if this 2 hour makes a lower high, but it still is saying the 30-minute is saying a 2 hour bounce can come, and then I just watch out for a lower high. If that's able to hold the 5, you're going to see another uptrend and get rid of those bad daily signals. Want to check the weekly, though. Yeah, the weekly hasn't crossed yet, so nothing absolutely serious just yet. But if none of that plays out and you see a weekly cross down, that's when you treat it a little bit more seriously, right? That can see weeks of negativity Or that could see weeks of, hey, just holding down by the weekly 20. I like the look on the 30-minute. I just want to see positivity today at some point. You got to see positivity today, most likely today at some point. You're going to have to see this reverse back up. Oh, hell yeah, Lurkin Luke. Let's go, dude. I kind of already have one, and it's not going well. My fun account suffers. Like, what, I take like a fun play like maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. It just suffers every time. But it gets my little gambling mind out. Oh god, I didn't take my headphones off before putting this on. That's not gonna work. Give me a sec. Yeah. It's not gonna work. Uh-oh, BKTT. BKKT. I almost said BK titties. Yeah, that's the main look I see for Starbucks. BKKT. This one here, very interesting because this one saw the big pop with the DJT news and things like that. Now you're starting to see this very controlled on the 2 hour. I'd more so be looking for a 2 hour divergence while that's still negative, and then just say, hey, if the daily swing trade comes, I'm there for it. This is great though, you're going back down to the 20. So what if a little 2 hour, a little hourly 2 hour divergence pops up and then you go, ooh, that's testing the 20. The 20 is right below you. So if you just see a flash move like this and it turns back around, that actually might be an opportunity. I would say the daily might confirm back up. But it does not look very good just yet, right? We see that this is pretty downward. Now you're flagging, so that could just continue. That's where you want to see if it starts to change, right? If it changes the behavior and doesn't continue that pathway down and you see a divergence, okay, that's where it's like, okay, I can take anything as long as it has 3 to 5 reasons to take it and I know how to manage my trade. Good. Fun play on Wolf did work relatively, and then it immediately didn't work after. The 2 hour was so close to confirming up. But the fun play on Wolf was great here. Actually, yeah, that was my... So I guess now my fun accounts... I think with all my fun plays, this one right here made my account, my fun play account go like break even for the entire year. That's pretty funny. But yeah, dropping off real hard. Still positive in positive territory. I mean, sorry, still in positive territory, negative in positive territory. I don't want to misspeak there. I'm worried about lower lows, lower highs now. Because if this was going to cup and handle, it would hold up better. But FFIE just dropping off, confirming divergence. So I'm starting to not like this. This is my fun play right now. And yesterday I was like, I'm gonna sell it, I'm gonna sell it. And I go, no, it's a fun play. Hold it for fun. Oh god. AMC, really want to pay attention to 437. That level's been good to us, and weekly expected moves. Yeah, so you can head lower than this. Ooh, Q's. What are you doing right now? You're rejecting pretty freaking good right now. We'll see if this is going to be a 5-minute like sideways pullback. Right, so we want to see if this 30 minutes is going to confirm. So most likely we'll need, at this point, as that 5 minutes curling down, you'd really like the Q's to do this. That's what you'd like to do to see the move higher. And that would take you into just like noon for me, like lunchtime. I gotta check on some stuff over here. Dollar starting to fade a little bit. Next 30-minute getting really close to that center line. Oh, sorry, that's a big yawn. Slept a little too good last night. Baby girl was sleeping. Ooh, okay. Tesla, I don't like that look just yet. Check. No, that can still head higher. That's the crazy part. You have one slight signal now that says the 2-hour pullback for Tesla could be coming, but I'm not going to bet against Tesla right now. It's too freaking bullish. It's doing crazy stuff. That 2-hour pulls back. We'll look for a possible opportunity. Like, this could pull down all the way into gap fill and retake the 5, and I'd be happy. But losing the 5, not a good sign. But if we just lose it for a 5-minute chart and turn back up, that'd be okay. But we want to see if this full 30-minute just shows like a thick red bar. Because really, the most likely thing is to end up down here with that 2-hour. IWM catching a good bounce now. There you go. So IWM, this was the 2-hour swing. You do not have a great divergence here. You have one flat one on the MACD. That's very, very skeptical about that one. But if the 2-hour can confirm up, I would say, yeah, watch out for a lower high still. You're in negative territory. But the last time we were deeper into negative territory, you beat that high. Then you consolidated for the most part for a long time here. You're building a bunch of liquidity. See if that thing can make a move higher towards a weekly expected move. If that confirms up, that is probably the most likely thing at this point, is the weekly expected move. It hit my big target for IWM I made like at the beginning of the year. Kind of crazy. Or I think that was like May. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really expect that to get tested. That's awesome. SPY still kind of lackluster. Now for the SPY, the 5-minute rotating down is a little bit more worrisome than the Qs. The SPY, if that rolls down, you're below the 5 already. You have a little bit more probabilities to go test this low. But if that happened like this and then it curled up, I would definitely think that's an opportunity for the 30-minute to actually bounce and actually see that move to 606, 607. So weirdly enough, 5-minute charts might be fun to watch for a little bit here. Where do we run into trouble? Right towards the daily expected move. We love them. Faith in Tesla short squeeze. Yeah, I'm seeing a signal that says it could pull back on the 2-hour, but look, I've seen that signal 3 different times over the last like 3 weeks for Tesla, and yeah, those are not playing out. So am I going to bet against Tesla in this move? No. Playing it to 118 and 289. It's an AI stock. Yeah, I've seen LPSN before. I've looked at this before, and it's just anything that's really, really down is super difficult to really do like full-on technical. So I want to see the daily scale. This one actually has some movement in it, which is good. Daily rolls down, that's bad. No divergence there. Lower high the last time a big move came. You're at that 200. Oh, okay. So if the 2-hour can really confirm up, you can take back that 200. It's not looking bad. I want to stretch it out though. I want to see more like, since it's cheap, I want to see like, is this a good investment? Well, right now on the weekly scale, if you turn down, it's not necessarily saying that's a good thing. If you can make a daily divergence, that might flip right back around. Daily divergence, I'm happy with it. 2-hour can really confirm up and you start to retake some key levels like 122. I think you got a good run in store for you. But it's not the clearest thing in the world. So maybe fun account's right for that one, huh? All right, we see a little wick out the 5-day. We're just chilling. We know the 5-minute can do a lot, right? It can get down to the center line, but it is relatively, look at that thing. It is pretty positive. If you're really looking at it, it's pretty positive. Compared to SPY, that's a little bit closer, right? We're still a little closer for the SPY, so. It's like, could the SPY make a divergence and the Qs make a lower high? Or, sorry, god dang it. Can the Qs make a higher low while the SPY makes a divergence? That would be something I would be open to. See what people are chatting about over here. A lot of random stuff. Tesla. Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley still remains at the 400 price target raise for Tesla. Some dude that bought Tesla at 414 is losing his mind because he's like, I'm only down 3% now. He was down like, holy shit, he was down a lot. Well, look at that. How far was this guy down then? So he bought literally like the top. At one point was down 77, 67. Now he's down 3%. Holy crap. Good on him for holding out. It's awesome. Probably could have just like, you know, given it up for a loss and bought lower, but it is what it is. Pretty cool. I check over on KRE, see if that's catching the bounce yet. Because yeah, the signals look awful, but there you go. Okay, awesome. Awesome for KRE, there you go. I think maybe we even have a little... Yeah, KRE, I'd look at an hourly and see if that confirms. Yeah, we were looking for it in these areas. I thought maybe we react a little bit lower, but this is why I draw zones. If I draw up a zone for this, yeah, that's obvious. And then take the wick, probably pull that across. You're coming into the zone, creating a hourly divergence, right? We make it look clear. Whatever looks clearest is what I like. Sometimes I will switch to an hourly if that can confirm back up here. You actually have potential for the daily to maybe even confirm up, at least a 4-hour, but the daily actually could confirm up as well. I'm going to be open to a lower high in some way. Right, just in case this thing wants to be a little weird, right? Slanted head and shoulders maybe. I want to be aware of it. Oh, shoot, what did I have over here? All right, yeah, so looks pretty decent. I think the 2-hour might swing up here. See, it's just a little more negative than last time. That's why I'm just going to be open to this going like that. Might even do this real quick. So we can go all the way up to like here and still be in that slant. Yeah, they were bad. Now they're looking like they might catch that bounce, and now it's pretty probable. Let's go 5-minute again. I was having fun on this thing. All right, tanking. I just really want to see what happens at gap fill. 30-minute never confirmed, right? Nope. We got 50 seconds. That is a rejection as of right now. It's a rejection as it remains close. If we don't break this low, that's what I'm going to watch on the 5-minute pretty much the whole time. I don't want to break these lows. I want to hold up anywhere in here. See if this 5-minute can confirm up again. Oh man, Dixie up 0.4. going to a level where it might need to consolidate. Kind of your head and shoulders level for the dollar, so interesting there. VIX has just confirmed on a hourly for the pullback. Still watching the 30-minute to see if we get a reaction in volatility, but I think you have more time here. We'll see. I kind of want to stay on just for a little bit longer here, like another 10 minutes. I think I can make that work, so. There you go, losing the 5. Yeah, like 1,000%. Like 1,000%, I would say that Roaring Kitty is invested in Treehouse Brewing Company, right? Like my dude is it's great marketing. Okay, what was the level for the day then? Did that make sense for, oh, no, that's not what I want. I want the level for the day on the Qs, because that saw a pretty steep reaction down there. 520. 520 for that, and then, oh, okay, we already violated that one. 526, so that's where we almost got to. I think you want to hold above 523. You lose 523 definitively on like a 30-minute. That's a little troublesome, but there's a gap fill potential, maybe just shy. Dollar, I wonder if you back off now. Okay. By actually holding up better than I expected. I expected that to maybe chop the low. Holding up way better than expected for the SPY. If you look at this on a 5 minutes, holding up much better here. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, give me like 7 more minutes, and then we'll look at what's happening. What are you guys chatting about? I'd say if you're a day trader, you probably like this, right? The little 5-minute move. If you have daily expected moves and you're a day trader and you see this and you go, okay, I'm gonna take one small one for tomorrow. You wake up in the morning, you hit these levels in the first hour, and you go, okay, cool, I'm out of that. That's as high up as the options market is supposed to go. There was a trade set up there. For positioning, it's tougher now, right? Positioning wise, I'd say it's a little tougher. Have a good day, have a coffee, or whatever. Oh, thank you so much. Let's third super on the live stream. Justin, thank you so much for the 250. Really appreciate that. It'll pop up soon. Yeah, for positioning wise, you're still kind of waiting, right? Waiting, right? Ooh, waiting for the opportunity. We can do this. That's probably an opportunity. Hell, we could do this and it might be an opportunity. Do that 50. I'd really like it just to be at the 20, go up, and then watch out for January, but Maybe even end of December if it's quick. This is where we should see that ground. If we're gonna get bullish again, this is where the 5-minute would like to curl up. There it was, it popped up. Thank you so much, Justin, appreciate you. I will make sure to go get some more coffee today. Actually, I think I need coffee, so that's perfect. Thank you for buying me coffee. Snow doing some funky stuff. Yeah, we might have another 10 minutes here. Let's go look at Snow real quick. Whoa! Not good. You know, yesterday I think it was Jack was asking about rejections, right? Asking about failures. Well, this would be considered a failed move to the upside, right? You got the green to even show up here. You curl back down immediately after, and you are right by negative territory. So it's a good lesson in here if that confirms up and then confirms right back down. It is a point to be like, okay, I need to be careful with this. This is more of a pullback. And then you want to see 2 hour. Do we have 2 hour divergence? You do, and that's confirmed. Did I just move in video? Anyway, the 2 hour confirmed that over here. So that was the thing to pay attention to. Then it confirmed back down, meaning we're going to head lower. Daily might start to roll over here. I think the 2 hour still has room though. See how the 2 hour still has some room? So if we can hold up at any point, that would be good. But for now, you would say, hey, if I have the 2 hour divergence play, I'm positioned for this to drop lower. That would be the most probable thing to continue. And then if I'm like, okay, I want to make sure to manage risk. Well, if that keeps dropping and I see the 2 hour turn back up, well, then that daily is not going to be dropping just yet. But this is a sign that the daily can pull back. Maybe targeting something like the 20 would be good. 162.50 right now, about that level. We look, that kind of coincides with this here. I think right there is where I'd look for it. 174.65. That'd be pretty good. But yeah, you have 2 hour divergence confirmed. Just want to watch in case that 2 hour turns up at any point. 30 minutes not giving you any inclination that that is going to happen. It's just very oversold. So be prepared for little 30-minute bounces. You know, nothing goes straight down unless it's a crash, but really nothing goes straight down. Usually there's bounces in it. Nothing goes straight up. Usually there is consolidation in it in some way. For Netflix, you have confirmed some pretty bad signals, and this looks pretty flaggy. It's just a little bit more vertical on the flag. So you'll see kind of like this. Oh, okay, kind of like this, right? We can pull it in a little bit to make it actually match a little, but you'll see you're kind of flagging here. So what does that tell me? Well, be open to the next move down. Be open for the ABC move, because on the 2 hour, you've actually confirmed a very significant divergence now. And so that tells me what? Well, I need to be aware if that reacts down on the 30-minute, makes a divergence. The 2 hour can keep going, right? I got to be aware of that. I'm a trader. I have to be aware of a lot of things. But I have to also notice that the daily is crossing. Now that is, as of right now, on a positive bar above the 9. We're seeing a lot of this behavior lately, which is very sketchy in 2024. It's some of the sketchiest stuff. Is when you're seeing these things confirm and they're still above their moving averages, they're on positive bars. You have to take that into consideration. If this was a negative bar that looked red like that, and it was crossing down to here, you'd be more confident in saying, oh yeah, the 20 at least. Now, does this have the most terrible daily signals? No, and this is another example of why we should be open to, if things do pull back, they can actually head higher. Okay, that's what we want to be paying attention to. The bearish trade might be more difficult than just saying, hey, let me be patient, wait for that. I'm not saying it's actually a pretty good one, but I'm saying got to be able to manage risk in it, because you want to be managing risk for bearish plays really closely. But then if you see this move down to here and you see even a little 30-minute divergence, pay attention, because that thing could whip back up and this could just be a daily pullback. Daily pullback's the most likely scenario for Netflix, right? And then if we go set up a trap to the upside, we can talk differently and talk more about, less about pullback, more about a corrective move. or even something worse. But you don't have that right now. So daily pullback, looking for it, good 2-hour signals, manage risk. SPY starting to break support, 5 minute. Sorry, I'm itching my eye at the same time. Okay, there's the break. Okay, so it was holding up pretty well. Then it breaks. I still think the potential to test this low is there for the SPY. I think it's a little less likely for the Qs, but it actually is there still. And this is a rejection, right? If we're really thinking about it plainly and we look at a 30-minute, that's a rejection. What is the more likely thing to happen here? Well, the 2-hour pulls back down to the weekly expected move. So as of right now, that is rejecting. That's why we're just watching the 5-minute together here, just in case that wants to turn back around. It's not. So what I'm looking for is a divergence from the SPY here. If that doesn't show up, there is no bullish thing. We're going to keep this 2-hour heading down and most likely go to a weekly expected move. IWM, okay, 2 hours still not confirming up there. DIA, nothing really there either. So, right, we're filling the gap right now for the Qs. So this is where I still want to pay attention for that 5-minute move up. We don't have even bad 5-minute signals just yet. What the hell are you saying, Justin? Because if you're hearing my daughter's show, it goes cuckoo, cuckoo. That's funny. Probably not hearing it, but when I read cuckoo, cuckoo, it's her Spanish show. Cuckoo, cuckoo, I don't know what they say in Spanish. Cuckoo. Oh, here we go. Oh, from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Pretty solid show. AMC consolidated. Let me look at that on my other charts. There you go, SPY. There you go. There we go. That's what we were looking for so far. We'll see if that can continue. Got to confirm back up the 5-minute, and then that's saying, hey, the 30-minute's going to confirm up. That's when we'll watch for a trap. Or the violation of divergence, which would mean, hey, there's no trap. It's probably going to remain bullish. Oh, there you go. Here we go. All right. All right, AMC starting to come alive a little bit. No reversal signals either, just getting down towards that 437 level. That's pretty much a zone. There's the daily hitting. The daily lost the 200 and the 50, and you were about to get that nice, what is it, golden cross there where the 50 crosses the 200. You're about to get it, and then it just completely goes the other way for a while. So what are you looking for from AMC? Well, it's still, hey, if the 30-minute is positive in positive territory, the 2 hours positive in positive territory, the daily turns up, hey, you got a chance. But right now you have a lot of things working against you. GME has a better shot of seeing those type of signals right now, but they can move in tandem. I just really wonder what's going to happen. Maybe I should try to knock out some things. I'll try to knock out a bunch today, because if crazy stuff starts to happen at end of day, might be able to go live again. I can see what I can knock out throughout my day. Yeah, that almost looked flaggy to head down one more time, because no reversal signals really popping up. Yeah, not even on the 5 really. Let me see about if we extend it to the 30 and the 15. 15, you have one on the MACD, but not the RSI at all. Oh my god, not the RSI at all for AMC. BJT actually showing some positivity there. Potential for maybe even cup and handle actually here. Failed handle the first time. 2 hour. 30 minutes. See if that 30-minute can confirm back up. That would be solid. All right, what's this 5-minute doing over here? Still getting that green. I'm gonna keep my eye on the SPY on my other screen here, all right? Stayed on for 15 more minutes. I want to see this reaction because this is really where I was looking for it. But I'm not trying to make an upside play, just to be clear. I'm looking at the direction of the market to see if I can read into it right. Right now, I would say, hey, 30 minutes going to make that move. The SPY is going to go up to, with the 5-minute stuff going on, to that daily expected move. So that means the Qs could set up some kind of trap. We'll see if that confirms today. So we can call it a confirmed trap, right? Because if it just does this, then we could say there's potential for it to head higher. There always is. But if that can confirm a trap, more probable to see that 2-hour pullback deeper. So we got to see this 5-minute turn back up for all of that to really come to fruition. But there's the gap fill. If it can produce upside. SPY struggling a little bit. SPY's like struggling, but it wants to hold up, it looks like, for this 5-minute. A lot can happen. All right, unfortunate, but I do have to take off. I do thank you guys for being here today. I really enjoyed today's stream. I think it was a lot of fun. We saw the move towards the daily expected move for the Qs. We have not seen the 30-minute confirm up just yet. So that's why I'm watching a 5-minute. I'm seeing if this gap fill can produce more upside. I'm watching for if the 5-minute and the 30-minute can go like this. Maybe we even create little 5-minute divergences up here to give us even more of a hint for what's going to happen going forward. But thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for asking about a bunch of different stocks. I think we saw some good ones today, like some that we don't necessarily look at all the time. So I do appreciate that. Thank you guys for asking questions, liking the stream, you know, subscribe and join the Patreon. You guys are fantastic, and I do appreciate this community more and more every single day, honestly. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will be trying to knock some stuff out to potentially go live later, so leave those notifications on if you're subscribed. And if I'm not able to, then we will be talking about things later on tonight on YouTube. So have a great day, guys. Manage those trades, trade like water, and you should be just fine. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day. Peace out.